Before we get too far into this, I just wanted to say I guarantee you and every single person watching this right now, by the end of this video, you're either going to want to cancel your Call of Duty Modern Warfare pre-order, or two, you're going to realize how big of a difference people can actually make to a company's policies in the future. So today we're talking really, and I know I don't normally cover Call of Duty and stuff. My videos are mostly Hearts of Iron based, obviously, but that doesn't change the fact that I still like the series in a way. I've been playing Call of Duty since Call of Duty 2 Big Red 1. That was my first ever Call of Duty, and I've played every single one of them past then, except for Infinite Warfare, which I threw into the garbage can with about a bunch of gasoline and a lighter. I do not recommend doing that, by the way. Basically, here's what's going on. So with Call of Duty Modern Warfare, I originally, when this game looked like it was going to launch, it looked amazing. I was incredibly excited. But here's what's happened so far and why I canceled it, and I want you guys to honestly look me in the eye. Well, not look me in the eye because of the internet, but really honestly tell me down there if you still would be willing to give your money over to a company that's done this, okay? For the last 5 Call of Duty games, including this one, they've said loot boxes were going to be for cosmetic items only. We know for the last several Call of Duties, that was a clear and nothing under the level of just flagrant and easily, it was a lie. Every single one of the Call of Duty games has some level of a weapon you get inside of a loot box. Even Call of Duty World War II technically has weapon variants and all that kind of crazy stuff. So they do that. They say that they're going to give you a certain type of content, and then they're like, give us that money for that content or else get out. Then second off, the big thing is they've made a third of the game pretty much locked to only PlayStation users for about a year, which really gets you to think if they're doing that with the thing called Spec Ops, what else could they possibly on Earth be having in their ideas and their minds later on that they're going to do something similar? Oh, you want this DLC? Well, you gotta wait 3 to 6 months before it becomes available on your specific platform. PlayStation users will get it 3 to 6 months early. Okay? So that kind of ticked me off with it, and then I play it on PC now. Okay? To play it on PC, Activision and Blizzard cut out Steam entirely. You can't play with your friends on the game. You can't talk to them on there anymore. You have to exclusively download a launcher on PC for Activision games only to be able to even pre-order it and install it. Okay? Now the final thing that has absolutely thrown me to the point, well, actually 2 things that have made me decide I'm done with this. I'm not going to keep the game going. And as you can tell, I've already canceled my pre-order. I showed the picture a minute ago. I'm done. I've canceled it already. They have an exclusive agreement now, which has come out on Charlie Intel, saying it's also going to feature 3 exclusive multiplayer maps for a minimum of 1 year on PlayStation. Okay? But the thing that has really thrown me over the edge, this hasn't even got anything to do with Call of Duty, but the company in general and why I won't support a game from this company again for an incredibly long time, if ever. And I hope a lot of our people do this too. Okay, Blizzard apparently has some kind of card game, and I have no idea what this thing was called. It was like Chongbin or Chosen or something. I don't know. It's some kind of like card game, like, you know, I don't know. I'm just not big into card game kind of video games. But what ended up happening is it was some type of esports competition for that game, and one of the people they interviewed, when they were interviewing him, he had a gas mask on. He pulls down the mask, and in Chinese, he says, "Liberate Hong Kong," because that's where he's from. Now, before people start going, well, too bad for them, they shouldn't be doing... Let me explain to this why this whole protest thing started in the first place, okay? The Chinese basically wanted the Hong Kong government to agree to let them tell the Hong Kong government, we don't like what that person is saying, or we think that person committed a crime in China. And what they would do is if they actually got the government to agree, which what that agreement was going to do, that agreement was going to say that the Hong Kong government would arrest that individual and send him over to China. And you know what? People found out it could be as little as a thing as they just want to arrest them for questioning. How many people do you know actually get out of prisons in China after they've been arrested for questioning? Oh, what? Nobody? Oh, yeah, that's right. Now, the thing is here, right, that has really just thrown me over the edge with this, is the fact that after he said that, they fired the 2 broadcasters that actually interviewed him, even though they didn't respond to it, and they even literally, I guess they did as a joke, and this really angered Blizzard, but they just like kind of went off the screen. They went under their desk a little bit here to like just get off the screen because they knew what was coming, and they waited, didn't say anything until the commercial popped up, and when they came back, they had no reaction to it at all. So they ignored him. They didn't interact with him at all after he said that because they knew how big of a deal it would be. And yet Blizzard still fired the 2 broadcasters that had anything to do with the guy. Okay? It's ridiculous. And here's the whole reason they've done this. Basically, the Chinese government has a say on every single product that goes into their country because it's communist. Now, I know it's ironic, me making fun of a communist nation when I'm doing a Hearts of Iron 4 Soviet Union playthrough under communism in the game, but it's absolutely ridiculous that because they have to agree to all these little set rules, including the movie industry, the game industry, every kind of industry that wants an agreement to go into China, they have to sell the rights of part of the game to a company in China, which goes under the Chinese government's ruling, which means that these companies won't even have a say when they agree to it. It's essentially selling your car to somebody or taking your car somewhere, but before buying it, you have to sell it to somebody other than the dealer, and they can tell you where to drive your car. And it's ridiculous. And what I'm getting to here is, here's how we can make a difference. And honestly, cancel the pre-orders, because people leaked out this information. And I hope this is not supposed to be confidential. If it is, I'm sorry. But in terms of millions of dollars, they have taken an absolutely massive loss recently. And this leaked out, okay? In terms of millions of dollars, okay? Asia, for Blizzard in 2018, helped to make $1,002 billion, okay? Or that would, I guess, be 1.2 trillion. I'm not great with math. But then for the Americas, it was 3,888 and this is all in terms of millions, okay? Then in 2017, it went up a little bit more, you know, in China and all that. China, it's really staying the same every year for Asia and the Pacific in general. But then in 2018, the $3,423 million that they were generating from the United States, it plummeted down to 273 million. It plummeted. Okay? That is a massive drop. And from 2017 to 2018, they took another hit of another 8% less, it shows. They went down to 184 million. So a lot of the people out there were saying, oh, well, if I cancel my one pre-order, that's not going to make a big difference. Actually, it has, and it proves it right here. And that's why I canceled mine today. Because I'm not going to support a gaming company that goes and says, oh, well, because somebody wants to say they want their country to be free, they want their country not to have to worry about making a joke about a president from another government and then worry about that person getting arrested, that person getting fired from what they do to make money, from that person being banned from a community of people that play games to escape their daily lives, to have entertainment and joy. I'm not going to support a company like that, because think about this. Tons of videos have been going on about the Call of Duty Modern Warfare multiplayer is back, where people would just say the most horrific things to each other, as horrible as that is to laugh at. People would say it to each other, but everyone would know it was like usually coming from a good intention, unless that person was just angry that you kept one-man armying them with a noob tube. People all understood, though, it was part of a community. And that community could say what they wanted to people without having to worry about backlash. Now think about this. If they're going to ban somebody from a competition because they said liberate Hong Kong or free Hong Kong, what are they going to do to the people on the Call of Duty platform that joke around or get angry at somebody for killing them in a game and just absolutely just go offloading on them? Or what are they going to do to the people that play multiplayer who say stuff like free Hong Kong, or if you have a username that they don't totally agree with, or if in China they don't think would be a good idea to have, or it'd be a little bit offensive? It's just ridiculous to me. I understand that a lot of people in China think their government is great and all that stuff. That's because they are brainwashed from birth, essentially. Okay? You can watch hundreds of documentaries where people go into China and show this stuff. Okay? There's a reason that one of the most oppressive, evil regimes in the world, which is North Korea, there's a reason that there's one government really supporting them in the world, and it's China. There's a reason behind the fact that they get their weapons, their oil, their fuel from China. But no one else in the world is willing to do that. No one else is willing to support them. There is a reason. Okay? Now look, I'm not trying to throw people out on a limb here and make them try to side with, I want this game, but am I willing to support a company? But you have to think about it. Eventually, there is a road you come to. And you have to decide whether or not you're willing to actually show what you support with your wallet, or if you're going to be willing to just say, you know what, no, I don't care what this company does. I don't care who they're against. I don't care what they say about me and my nation. I'll be fine. I mean, think about if Iran had some kind of say with the way that, China agreed with companies. Can you imagine if something like Iran had a say over what Call of Duty would feature? Look, I think I've made myself clear. The point I'm getting to here is I've canceled my game. I'm not saying you need to cancel it, but I have canceled it. There is a reason Boycott Blizzard is all over the internet right now. But what I am telling you guys is I don't care who you are, I don't care what you believe, I don't care what you say, but I just want you to think. Put yourself in the shoes, and the reason I'm going to use the United States as in this example is because I'm in the United States. Okay, I know what the political atmosphere over here is like. I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican. I'm more in the middle and decide who I want to be the leader of my nation based on what they say, who they, want to support, who backs them, stuff like that, what their policies are. That's more what I'm interested in. Okay? And the fact that if you can just imagine if one day the tons of Americans who are watching this video right now were to just turn on the news one morning, if it's CNN or Fox or whatever, and on there it says, today Donald Trump has signed an order saying if the Russian government disagrees with somebody who's in the United States or a political activist or something like that, the U.S. government will arrest them and extradite them over to Russia, a country where they don't speak the language and a country where they're probably never going to see a trial or be allowed outside again. That is essentially what's happening with this Hong Kong thing. The only difference is Russia would have a say over what goes into the United States. There's a reason Call of Duty has been banned from the store in Russia, because they're talking about, white helmets and stuff like that, and they've got missions in Syria. I had high hopes for this game, and I honestly wanted it to be one of the good Call of Duties, which I have not seen in a very, very long time. They keep promising to be over the top, and they keep getting the greatest reviews, but I am done. I'm not going to support this company anymore. When people go out in the street against bullets, tear gas, and water, saying all they want is the right to pick who they want to be their leader, when all they're doing is asking for them to please not arrest them and send them to a government who actually shoots people in prisons because they don't agree with their political views, I'm not going to support a company like that. I'm done. And you know what else? The only reason they've done this is because Call of Duty Mobile released recently in China. Okay? And the Chinese government has come out in the past and threatened to ban or suspend the sale of products in China if they didn't agree to certain things or fire certain people because of their views. And you know what? Honestly, I was iffy about this whole trade war thing with China. I didn't really support Trump in the beginning with it. But honestly, after seeing the kind of monsters that are doing this kind of stuff, that are saying, hey, if you don't censor these people's public views, you're not going to be able to be in this type of genre. If you do this, you're going to be fired. If you do this, you're not going to be allowed to be part of anything we do again. That is horrific. That is nothing less than shutting down freedom of speech, which I'm sure everybody watching right now thinks that should be a human right. To be able to say what you want, believe what you want, and pick who you want to lead you. And the simple fact that these people are out there saying that we would support the Chinese government instead of picking Americans, instead of trying to support people that are American citizens and Chinese, and it's just ridiculous. And yes, I know I said Chinese in there at the end because it's just all, it seems like a joke. It's like something you would see out of a comedy movie. And you know, honestly, South Park did a video about this recently, and you know what? South Park has been scrubbed from the internet over there. They pointed out about how Winnie the Pooh got banned in China because people kept, making jokes about how Winnie the Pooh looked like Xi Jinping, or whatever his name is, the Chinese president. And you know what? Winnie the Pooh got banned in China. It's illegal to watch anything to do with Winnie the Pooh. I think I've said my piece with this, but don't simply go and say that you support things. Instead, actually act on it. Like I have with canceling my pre-order and not buying any of these games. If I already own the game, yeah, I'll play it here and there, but I'm not going to pay another penny for it. Anyway, that's my views. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and don't forget to share this, because I honestly think that everybody needs to hear this. Anyway, thanks for watching.